I used to think increasing sales was about being louder, faster, more persuasive until I started using these psychological tricks. So if you're tired of pushy sales tactics that don't really feel aligned, you're going to want this. These 5 psychological triggers aren't gimmicks. They're grounded in real behavior. And I've used them to help brands and my own business earn deeper trust and close more deals without ever feeling salesy. Today, I'll show you exactly how they work, how to apply them across your messaging, your offer, your launch strategy to convert more of the right people. If I woke up tomorrow to a message from my CFO saying that my marketing budget had been cut, but I still needed to grow sales by 50%, here's how I'd start. I'd map out the entire customer journey and look for any friction points that I can just eliminate. From ad to landing page, remove one piece of information that you're collecting that keeps your customer from moving to the next step. From your landing page, make sure it's optimized for mobile and reduced upload time. From the landing page to checkout, have them use their Google credentials so that their information to pay auto-populates and they don't have to go find their wallet. So any point in that journey that you can eliminate is how you increase sales. And here's why it works. So the easier you can make it for them signals trust in the brain. It helps them to feel like you know what you're talking about and you are going to do a good job for them. So it is signaling trust in the brain. And simplifying the language and the structure increases conversion. Let me give you an example. When I first came out with my landing page, I thought, well, let me just put everything that I know on this one page so I don't have to go through multiple steps, make it a multiple step journey. People can just see all the information and there it is. And the first landing page that I created had all my credentials, of course, had a freebie that I was offering people, a video, a pitch on a new offer, and listen to this, 5 call to actions on next steps that they could take. Any reason why I thought that that would convert? I got 0 sales from that page because it was just word vomit all over the internet. And I was confusing my customers instead of convincing them that I knew what I was talking about. So I was talking to a friend and I was like, man, I just came out with this landing page. I think it's really great, but it's not doing anything where I needed to do for sales. And she looked at me and she's like, Sam, this is too much. Your customers don't need all of this information thrown at them all at once. They need clear steps through the process. And so I just took a breath and I was like, okay, evidence over ego. We're going to take a step back and try this again. So I made a pivot, changed to a new landing page that has the freebie very clearly marked and one clear next step to book a call with me to get started. And I'm proud to say with that new landing page, I've had my highest month of sales yet. So you can see that eliminating those friction points really does help to drive sales. So question for you, where are you making your audience work too hard to make a purchase from you? If you're a new brand and don't have any customer base, do what Red Bull did and trash your product. Here's what I mean. When Red Bull was getting started, they wanted to give the impression that they were the go-to drink. So they went around London filling the trash cans with empty cans of Red Bull to give the perception anytime someone left a club or a bar that all of these people were using Red Bull when that wasn't the case. But by signaling that it was being used and consumed so often, that's how they initially got traction with their brand. So here's why that works. Humans are very good at taking mental shortcuts. We have all of this information coming at us all the time. So we've created, our minds are really good at finding ways to minimize the energy it takes to make a decision. And one of the ways it does that is by relying on referrals or relying on word of mouth. We use what we see other people doing as a good signal that that's something we should be doing. And so how that shows up if you're a marketer and a smart one is case studies. user generated content, or testimonials. Those are the types of social proof that smart marketers use to signal that this is something that you want to get in on as a customer. And so one question that I have for you is, what proof do you think would most resonate with your customers? What kind of proof or evidence are they most interested in seeing? Here's the difference between a $3 million brand and a $33 million brand. It is positioning your brand as an identity statement. Liquid Death does a fantastic job of using their messaging and their ad campaigns to not just talk about water, but to talk about how drinking that water signals to people around you something about your identity. So buyers really want to feel seen and understood and use a product that is going to be a bit of a badge, a bit of a statement to the people around them that there's something a little different about them because they use this product. And so marketers can use subtle hints in their language, in their messaging, in their marketing creative to not just promote the product, but to build a sense of community and a sense of belonging with their customers. So what's one core value or identity that your message can reinforce with your customers? When your message reflects what your audience really values, it doesn't just resonate, it reinforces what they believe about who they are. That's what builds real connection and loyalty. But here's the gap that I see too often. Teams pouring money into campaigns that miss the emotional resonance altogether. That's why I created the CMO Budget Rescue Checklist. It helps you stop wasting money on underperforming campaigns and shows you how to connect with what actually moves your market. The link is right in the top of the description. This makes a lot of people uncomfortable because it feels like manipulation, but it works over and over again. I had a client needing a quick cash infusion in their business, so we tested bundled deals versus limited time offers, and the limited time offer had 20% more sales. One of the best ways to get sales quickly is to convince people that they're missing out if they don't buy now. That's why it feels cringy, because you are using the fear of missing out versus the value of gaining something. And that is just human psychology. We fear missing something more than we fear or more than we value gaining something else. So that calls into question the ethics of using this tactic. So here's my one-step rule is there needs to be true scarcity if you're going to use loss aversion as a tactic in your marketing. And so here's a story for you to demonstrate. There was a brand that I was working on that they were closing a manufacturing plant and moving manufacturing somewhere else. And in closing that plant, they found several cases of this product that was still quality, still good, but had never made it to retail shelves. And so they were able to brand it as an ultra premium limited time flavor that they put out into the market and sell it at top dollar because they were never going to have that product again. So that was a real sense of scarcity. And because it was a true it was a true campaign that they were never going to have one of these again. That worked really well, and it was done in a tasteful and ethical way. So question, what real risk is your audience avoiding by choosing you? Are you speaking to that loss aversion in an ethical way? Here's exactly why Lunchables can charge 500% more for some cheese and crackers. It's because we place more value in something that we have made with our own hands. It's called psychological ownership, and it's why custom shoes, video game skins, and custom features can be sold at an ultra premium. And what it looks like is when customers have a chance to build alongside a brand, it gives them a better sense of commitment. They are more invested in the outcome, and it makes them more likely to buy. So question for you, Where can your audience take ownership of your process or the outcome and make them more likely to buy? When you layer these triggers together with positive intention, your sales process feels easier and your marketing works harder. But here's what most people miss. Gen Z doesn't respond only to good messaging, they respond to brands that share their values. So if you're trying to reach that audience, your next move matters. In the next video, I'll show you how Gen Z buys with their values, not just their wallets. You can watch it here.